everyone, and welcome back to Invite Sixes playoffs here on RGL. My name's Tisumano, joined by Wild Rumpus. We've got Dolphin on production as always, and tonight we've got, I think, what could be maybe the closest kind of match or best of three in this playoffs. It is going to be Moneyballs versus GlobalClan Xiao, and the second and third seed respectively. I think it's going to be a pretty good one. Might be close. GlobalClan Xiao have maybe surprised a few people. You know, they've kind of had some upset wins over some teams like Anglerfish Holdings, which, of course, they have died. But I think part of the reason why they did die is because they lost to GlobalClan Xiao.
Yeah.
And they've been having, I think, a really good season. But, you know, are they going to be able to take it up against Moneyballs? Jury's still out, but someone who can maybe help break it down. Wild Rumpus, you know, a member of the team and also a great analyst. So what are your thoughts on this match?
The member of the team who's totally been invited in their Discord by now. Yeah, I mean, I think that you're right, that if there were to be, I still think that it would be an upset if Xiao were able to win tonight, but I think that this is probably the most viable upset we'll see in playoffs. Maybe Balls are not happy at me saying that and the prospect of them not being able to upset Freo, but yeah, I don't know. The GlobalClan Xiao have really been showing a lot of momentum later in the season, a lot of talent. So yeah, it's really on them to show up tonight.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. They do have a lot of talent, and we've seen in some of the games that they're able to use it, especially versus the what is it, the Jarrett team. I'm forgetting all the names. The Fjord Gaming.
Yep.
Yeah. And a lot of that was down to the soldiers, and we can go over the roster because it's been a pretty short season. And if you don't know these teams, I wouldn't blame you. It's only been like a 5-week regular season. So on GlobalClan Xiao, it's going to be Minaj and Moose. And then you've got Robotnik, aka Aimer, on Roamer Soldier, Fancy Sun on Pocket, Tiny on Demo, and the medic is going to be Dinko. And a lot of those people, a lot of those players are kind of people who have kind of come up, I'd say, somewhat recently. You know, some people like Moose have kind of come up. Same thing with Minaj and Tiny. They've kind of come up together through the ranks. And it's been kind of exciting to see their rise. Some people on that team, like Aimer and Fancy Sun, have kind of played around advanced or low invite for a while, but I think this has definitely been their best, at least results in terms of an invite season.
Yeah, true. And again, I mean, they've been doing pretty impressive. Now, I suppose I should tackle Moneyballs here, which a lot of familiar faces. Habita is a somewhat recent addition to the roster, did join during the regular season. We casted a granary match that he was debuting in, I believe. But we got Bot Mode and Raven on Scouts. Going to be Slug, Loaf, Soldiers, Dingo on Demo, and Habita is the medic.
Yep, and you know, there's a lot of talent on the Moneyballs roster. Obviously, you know, like I think it was the same game where it was maybe Slug's first game that we saw, taking over, filling in for High Five, the balls part of the Moneyballs equation. So Slug having to live up to that, but I think been doing a very great job and has been able to transition onto Soldier pretty well, all things considered. And I think, you know, with someone like Habita as well, having all of that kind of Froyo experience, it just kind of bolsters the team. And then you look at the Scouts, Raven and Bomo are fantastic. Bomo, I think, I've said this a few times we've seen the team, but has been having an incredible year, both with G6 and the various lands they've been at, just playing out of his mind. And I think that's kind of continued into Moneyballs.
Yeah, and I mean, we've mentioned, or at least I've mentioned, that they're kind of lining up to be a second place team this season. And I think even in a more populated season with many more teams, this would still be a similar caliber of team. They're not really that helped out by the playing field being thinner, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. You could maybe look at the two other teams in playoffs, Fjord Gaming and GlobalClan Xiao as whether or not they would have been able to make playoffs as a. I think both of them would have had a chance at making playoffs, but it probably wouldn't be as assured as it has been this season, with there only being 5 teams at the tail end. And I think there could have been maybe a very tight race if Anglerfish Holdings had stayed around. I think they were looking really good to at least be a contender for playoffs, but with it being as it is, GlobalClan Xiao and Fjord Gaming snapping those 2 spots up pretty happily and without too much a fight over it. But that being said, I think GlobalClan Xiao have kind of proven that they would be in that conversation, bare minimum, in a more populated invite season. And they've had some pretty okay performances against Moneyballs. Comparatively, they were able to take a round off of them, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but it's been a very kind of one-sided season just in terms of how the majority of the games have gone. And I think they have some type of opportunity. It's going to be Gully Wash first, which I believe is Moneyball's pick. And I think that immediately you kind of cast your eyes to the demos, Dingo and Tiny. Dingo, been an invite for so long, been on so many teams. He knows this map inside and out. It's going to be very tough to contend with him, but I think Tiny, up and comer, got the juice and might be able to do a thing or two.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, I didn't realize how many times Moneyballs has played Gully Wash. This is kind of a comfort pick for them, and they've done quite well at it. I feel like I saw a Moneyballs Froyo on Gully, but I did not. I remember watching some just hard roll on Gully. I don't know who the teams involved were, but yeah, Moneyballs, especially against those other mid-invite teams, have been very consistent on Gully Wash. As we are live here, map 1 of playoffs. Who do you have your eyes on this mid?
I have my eyes on the soldiers. I'm going to be looking at Robotnik because the process match that we saw he was very influential in being able to get picks on to everyone, but it's going to be immediate death for Robotnik. Caster's curse right there. Dingo going to be able to take him down, but Dingo gets taken down as well. Raven kind of playing by the banana, but soldiers on Moneyballs bombing in super deep, doing so much damage. It's only going to be the medic left alive, and that is going to be a very convincing first mid win for Moneyballs.
Yeah, ambitious stay in, I would say. I mean, still fighting the mid when Aimer goes down, sure. And eventually they got the demo trade, so that's all nice. But then you lost another player, and still I was seeing some combo lingering that really did make the difference between Dinko being caught and players being able to get out to second or last, and it not being a full wipe, right?
Yeah, not a full wipe, which is going to, or it was a full wipe for everyone on G6, which has put them in a very bad spot. As now the Uber is going to come in for Moneyballs. They're taking it in through Shutter. Now going to flash. They got the Pyro to try and reflect, but not going to do the best job of it. They don't have anyone on the point just quite yet. Bomo playing the edge of it as the soldiers bomb in. Minaj trying to airblock, maybe buy some time for his spawners, but they're all getting shut down at the doorways. You do have Robotnik on the ring, going to be bombing up, gets knocked down, craters to his death, and Dinko nowhere near Uber, only at 70%, and it's not going to be enough. They held on actually a fair amount of time there, Rumpus, but just not having the Uber kind of bit them.
Basically, yeah. I mean, the writing was on the wall basically immediately with the Uber once Fancy Sun was that first kill before the Uber even ended. But, I mean, the fact that GlobalClan Xiao were able to hold off for so long meant that maybe with a little bit of hard building there, and they may have already been hard building, but I mean 80% Uber, that's basically the only way that you can hold that last at that point.
Is the only way, and hopefully they're going to be looking for a much better mid. Fancy Sin high bombing, doing a lot of damage, is going to be able to help collect a few kills with Robotnik coming in through the flank. And this is a much better mid for GCX. They've got Loaf and Hubba, the two remaining players for Moneyballs, and unfortunately for them, they are on the wrong side of the map, so they're going to have to do a great escape to try and get Hubba back to the rest of a combo. Yeah,
speaking of the wrong things, I've noticed that Minaj was on Force of Nature earlier on in the game and stayed on it as actually this oh my god,
what,
Hubba gets out clean as well. So the blue combo just went drop down there. It wasn't being spotted by any of the players on Xiao, and then Tiny just dropped down to take the 2v1 against the fully buffed soldier, got air shot. Minaj was like tabbed out or something on top of the point the whole time, so Hubba is able to slip out, and now we're just looking at even Ubers on 2, which is a lot better than your combo being stuck behind.
Yeah, that is realistically the best case scenario if you are Moneyballs, because now you can, like you said, stabilize on second, and it's up to G6 to try and get some momentum working, as seems like they're having Robotnik go in through wood with Minaj as well, so the flank from GCX managing to maybe try and set something up. They're kind of peeking the shutter, so they're letting everyone on Moneyballs know. And it seems like Moneyballs are happy to push the choke instead. Loaf and Raven kind of making some space here, but the bombs coming in from Robotnik, fighting Slug up in River. Is going to be able to win that with the help of Minaj wrapping around from behind. They do lose Moose, their pocket scout, so they don't have anyone really with Dinko aside from Tiny just to defend the big door, as they're trying to just keep the pressure on Moneyballs. But it is a one-to-one trade, as once again they are shoving the choke.
Yeah, and the more you commit your resources and your heals and your combo towards big door to really apply that pressure and to really get those players behind through lobby, the more open your own choke is and the less supported your soldier is. As actually, I have eyes on Loaf here, who was able to slip through drop down unspotted.
Oh my god!
Romo died on the front lines, but Slug finds a kill. Ubers are being exchanged. Oh man, but how about it drops 2 players? This is now a little scary because you would have really loved, and now Loaf is dying in choke. Okay, Raven's collecting some kills, retreating to mid, but getting severely outcapped. It's really going to be spawners on last. And man, if that exchange was just as much better as it should have been, no players getting dropped, then the low flank, oh god.
Oh, that is so unfortunate. The scouts split up, and then I think one of them, Minaj, just kind of took the one versus one of his scouts, and they didn't have heals attached, and just a little bit of miscommunication. It was a really great play, but they just kind of rushed into it, and now they're going to be back on middle with massive Uber disadvantage. Hubba working his way in with the rest of the team. There are stickies. Fancy Sun up on Sniper is going to have to back spawn out and it come back up on Soldier. And right now for GCX, they know they're at Uber disad. They want to try and force this Uber here, or at bare minimum make sure they don't lose anyone.
Yeah, and just huge momentum flip there, to be honest, from what was just a terrible exchange into Bomo just finding kills. And that's kind of just a DM diff sort of the situation, where if you are that lower seeded team or whatever, I mean, those are adjustments you're gonna have to make to compensate. So we do see the Uber get popped through choke here. No one is caught, so it will just be a flip-flop out of last. Dinko already at 90%, and it looks like GCX are definitely trying to push with it.
They are. It seems like they want to get through Baby Door, and they are going to manage to do that successfully. Yeah, Fancy Sun is going to go down to some nice stickies and pipes, and Dinko, disconnected from Moose, is going to have to walk back, and they've lost 2. Now they should be able to hold on to last, but they're going to have to stop the push-out attempt. It could be a great opportunity for Moneyballs to try and force this Uber out from Dinko. You see Slug already in River, Raven as well. Slug with the spoon isn't going to manage to find anything and dies, but a lot of cap time on the last. Raven is going to go down. Really great defense from GCX, managing not to fall at all, but with Moneyballs getting Ubers, seems like they still want to try and pressure here.
Yep, I mean, this is effectively just counter-sack after a 2-man. A lot of space, however, more so than you usually get on a counter-sack here. So Aimer will, oh man, finds the force on top of it. He thought that rocket may have been hitting. It was close. I will not contest that. Bomo just running in. No holds barred, trying to get this force out of Dinko, who is still holding on. Tiny does go down, however, and Loaf is going to be on the cap in a moment. A lot of pressure being applied here. Can anyone even get to the point in time? The answer is no. The slow cap Soldier ×1 on the point is just enough to score around there.
And that comes back to all of the cap time that Moneyballs had gotten previously in their earlier last push attempt. So 2-0 for Moneyballs, but we can see that there's a lot of signs of life from GCX. It's not a straight up roll by any means, but Moneyballs just being able to get the better end of the deal time and time again. Robotnik taking a lot of damage, is going to commit onto the lower ground, not going to find anything, but on the high ground, the scouts getting a lot Raven being taken down. The same thing with Loaf. They're trying to commit into this big door area. A big bomb from Slug does a bit of damage, but still managing to stay alive is going to be Moose, all by his lonesome with the help of his medic, trying to take 2v3, but it's not going to work out, and that is going to be Moneyballs with another mid win.
And a pretty late death from, Dinko as well. I mean, Gully Wash is already such a small map, traversal-wise. Oh, damn, Fancy Sun getting caught there as well. That, I mean, mid to last are pretty... I mean, if you wipe a team on mid, you're very, very rarely gonna have trouble pushing two. But especially so in this circumstance. And keep in mind as well, we saw an Uber into last earlier where Dinko was already at 80% by the time the point got capped. So, like a late death, a later spawn, if one of those pushes goes on a little long, could be the difference.
It could indeed be the difference, as G6 are just trying to buy time to hopefully get Uber later into this fight as the Uber comes out from Moneyballs. Haven't taken down the gun just quite yet. They should be able to do it now. Raven getting a bit of cap time on the point. The soldier's going to be bombing in. Slug doing a lot of damage. Should be taken down. Not before Tiny goes down, so there's not going to be any stickies on the point, but it seems like the picks are going in the favor of GCX. Dingo still alive. I kind of committed. Hubba should go down here. Same thing with Dingo, so that is going to be a last health for GCX.
Yep, solid gunfire there. I had my eyes on Bomo and Aimer fighting each other in secret. Obviously going to be a soldier favored fight there, and did end up finding that kill. Loaf almost made some value happen behind the point, but there were just too many players. Because now it's Bomo in the forward spawn and Sniper.
Loaf going to be bombing the point as Slug plays the enemy team's big door, taking a bit of damage. He's going to have to wait for an air. Minaj trying to pressure it as the rest of the team getting in, but Moose goes down to a nice ball from Raven, Robotnik as well, and it seems like they're all falling on this point. Minaj staying in behind, not able to take down Bomo, who is so weak of a tail end of that 1v1 fight, and Dinko uses Uber on no one, trying to get out, and is surfing well, but not towards any exit point, and it's going to be taken down, and it's only going to be Tiny and Robotnik, as I say that, Tiny is going to go down.
Yeah, Aimer 20 HP gonna go down. Just got in the lobby. Okay, I mean, this is really just gonna come down to, can the spawners do anything by the time 2 is capped? The answer's looking like no, but 2 of them have died. Vance is gonna die. 2 fresh spawners here. Demo's gonna try to bomb the point, but it's so difficult to really, well, yeah. If Tiny got anything there, then they'd just be the GOAT.
Yeah, no, that is a very tall ask of your Demoman in that scenario. So it is going to be 3-0 in the favor of Moneyball. Seems like they're kind of picking up a little bit of steam here. The first 2 rounds were fairly back and forth, but that third one pretty convincing if you are a Moneyballs fan. And GCX, you're looking at them to maybe try and switch things up, maybe get a nice clean mid win to get them some type of opportunity to commit forward. Fancy Sun going to be bombing forward. Does a good damage onto Dingo. Minaj cleans it up. They are going to lose a few trades all across the point. Minaj just dancing around on so low hit points. It's finally going to go down to the scattergun of Bomo, who falls down to the ground, tries to collect these escaping Xiao players. Moose buying time for Dinko to get out, and Dinko should be out to last safe and sound. And that's going to be the silver lining for G6, because now they are at least going to have Uber to defend last with.
You know, these players are moving forward as though they want to be fighting 2. I don't know if I'd advise that. Oh, and look at this Bomo. Oh yeah, Dinko is maybe caught to this. 90%, really gonna have to build out his last percent of Uber. It's gonna be close. 95 now, should be fine now, but 2 kills with the Uber is more than enough to pressure into last. And look at that! Oh no, GlobalClan Xiao wanted to do the exact same play in reverse, but ended up trying to milk through the doorway into River. And Dinko just getting synchronized with spam damage does drop Uber.
That is so unfortunate, because you could see it right there. They wanted to go with the double scouts, and it just all fell apart. And then Tiny, in that same very unfortunate position of trying to block blast, being the sole person up, and it's going to be 4-0 disaster. And that can be a little bit of a, a mental destabilizer there because, you know, it's not like they were in a great position to win, but they had the opportunity to at least hold, and that drop just sent it all into a tailspin as now they're trying to fight in. Minaj getting very aggressive at Big Door. Alberta not climbing whatsoever, just kind of staying there protected as they're just all falling one by one by one. Dingo gonna die, getting popped up into the air. Last one alive is Moose. Tries to take the 1v1. It soon becomes a 1v6 as everyone on Moneyballs rushes forward, and that is going to be a complete wipe from everyone on GCX.
Yeah, we're going to see some spawn camping happen as well. Very unlikely that they're going to hold spawners in the full duration, because of course you have to cap second as well. Yeah, it will be Dingo's side broken through actually, but Uber gets popped against these spawning soldiers, and they both get dealt with. So Uber gets 2 kills, totally worthwhile. And at this point, it's looking like kind of cleanup. You just go to point. There's only a scout and a medic. What can they possibly do? And yeah, momentum really picked up there at the end. Moneyballs, excuse me, kind of stomping here on Gully Wash.
Yeah, kind of stomping. I would 100% agree. I mean, those first 2 rounds. I mean, the second round, I think technically GlobalClan Xiao won the mid, and then they kind of almost immediately lost it right after. So unfortunate in that respect. But after that, it was just Moneyballs all the way down. Of course, you know, if you are GlobalClan Xiao, you can write off a bit of this as a, you know, this is the other team's map pick. We're going to be going on to our map pick now, so maybe an opportunity for a reset. But when it's a roll like that, it's a pretty disheartening.
Yeah, losing on the other team's map pick, you can't always just say, hey, it was their map pick, and it's in the interest of staying positive, I guess. But when it's a 12, close to 13-minute 5-0, it's just cope at that point. I think just about any map, and you probably lose that half. But yeah, we are going to go to process, which is going to be definitely a different map than Gully Wash. Very insightful, I know, but I think that one of the meaningful ways that it's different is that you can absolutely slow the pace down on process, or rather, you can make it a very sniper and hit scan oriented map rather than the very projectile oriented choke points of Gully Wash. So, I mean, we've seen plenty of players on GCX have a propensity towards sniper, and I think just mixing the pace up more than anything could help disrupt some things, get them some footing.
Yeah, I 100% agree. You know, with the pacing, you can, if you opt to run sniper and you find yourself in a mid to second stalemate, you can really kind of control what the other team does. And even if your sniper's not able to hit anything, you can use your soldiers or someone else on the team to kind of take advantage of that fact of that positioning. And I think it was actually on process where we saw the flank from GCX, Robotnik and Minaj have a lot of success managing to get in onto Bear, I think it was, versus Fjord Gaming.
Yep.
Of course, you know, Moneyballs doing a bit better this season than Fjord have been, but I can understand why they would opt to go for that map against this team.
Yeah, true. We do have some logs as well we can look at. I didn't expect Loaf to be as big of a standout, but damage-wise, he definitely is here. Breaking the 400 barrier, which is something you don't usually see soldiers do without demos also doing so. But yeah.
Yeah, no, having a really great game, Loaf. 17 and 6, 421 damage or DPM. So, like you said, having kind of a standout performance. And then down the line, I mean, it's a 5-0 on in just over 10 minutes. So you can kind of expect everyone on Moneyballs to be doing a little bit to a lot better than everyone else on GlobalClan Xiao. But and then the other thing, I guess, is, you know, the mids and I think Dinko dying. And that's the other thing. I think there was only really one mid I can think of where they lost, but Dinko was able to stay alive. And that was when they tried to take that Uber in, and it just didn't work out. So I think that was another big factor there.
Yeah, there was the mid they won, but also like even then it was still pretty fine for Moneyballs because they had Habada and Loaf stuck behind, but were able to kind of slip out. Loaf was able to find a trade with the demo as well, like that's valuable there. So yeah, but I mean that's Gully Wash. We're moving on to something else. Do you expect things might be different? Because I have my answer.
Sorry, you cut out a little bit for me there.
Oh.
Do I expect what?
Do you expect things are going to be different this half or same old?
I think they definitely can be different because I'm curious to see what the game looks like if it's not a complete read from Moneyballs on mid. If GlobalClan Xiao are at least able to make it a little bit of a closer mid or win a few mids themselves, I think, and maybe give the soldiers, especially Robotnik and kind of the flank, some room to play with. I think it could be a little bit of a different game. However, with that being said, based on the form that everyone on Moneyballs is in, I say we're still looking at a Moneyballs victory. I could maybe see it not being a 5-something, just if they are able to slow down the game massively and kind of get us to that 30 minutes before someone's gotten to 5 rounds. So I could maybe see it being a 4-2 or a 4-1, something along those lines.
Mhm.
But I think this is definitely Moneyballs' a series to lose.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I maybe expect another 5-0. We'll see. Because, yeah, Moneyballs are looking hot right now. And, I mean, we didn't really see... Yeah, I don't think we saw anything into last from GlobalClan Xiao.
No,
and I
we
could
didn't.
very easily see them take a mid or two, be in a mid to last situation, and still have Moneyballs hold last. Because you just kind of need reps, or you need those actual attempts and attacks into last for some to work out. And yeah, they're not all going to work. So even setting yourself up for a mid to last kind of like fluke round, you still aren't guaranteeing yourself anything.
No, that is true. There have been many kind of last pushes that you assume are done deals, signed, sealed, and delivered, but it turns out they have been rejected by the post office, and you're looking and you're wondering, how did that not happen? And so we could definitely see a couple of those in this game. It'd be very unfortunate for G6 if that is the case, but Moneyballs, they are a tough team to beat, and it's kind of been the thing of the season so far. These teams have been pretty locked in terms of their spots. Fourth has seemed pretty far and away from third, has seemed pretty far and away from second, has seemed pretty far and away from first. And I think I still think this is maybe our best shot of seeing some type of upset, but if not, then I'm happy to see it in what we expect probably grand finals to be, Moneyballs versus Froyo, somewhere along the lines. But it's kind of the thing of these smaller seasons is that you kind of with less people playing, the gaps between teams can become a lot more apparent.
Yeah, it's not a particularly it's not a particularly weak season or a particularly strong one in this median or average competition or what have you. And in fact, probably the strongest NA team we've ever seen is playing this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you mentioned, it's a very stratified season where it's hard to find that equal competition, I suppose.
Yeah, it is a little bit, but I think GCX, maybe I am coping. I'm just huffing super amounts of a copium here, but I don't think we're gonna have to wait too much longer, as they are going to be getting ready shortly. Obviously, Moneyballs, they're in a great position, as we've no doubt noted, and you all have no doubt seen. But when it comes to GCX, what do you think is going to be their ticket to victory? Do you think it's going to be Sniper, maybe putting Moose, or maybe Minaj, who's a really great Invite Highlander sniper, on that class? Or do you think it's going to be really relying on their flank, Robotnik and Minaj, to really kind of worm their way in behind and try and create openings for everyone else to take advantage of?
What I would hate to see GCX do here is just start to panic and the players feel like they need to make plays. Because honestly, at least to start on this map, if I'm on GCX, as we are actually going live here, then I just want to focus on not getting mid-lasted and just try to play at your own pace. Just be able to play stalemates and flip-flops and the dynamic game and stuff like that. Because, yeah, the process mid is a lot less punishing than Gully Wash, and things are different.
Things are different, but one thing that has stayed the same, Robotnik going to be going in through IT on the very start of this mid. Exactly what he did, I think, versus Fjord Gaming. The soldiers on Moneyballs going to be going for their fade bombs as Robotnik comes and does take down Hubba, so already a much better start to this mid for GCX. However, they did lose their own medic in Dinko. It is going to be a 2v2, a scout and a soldier versus scout and soldier. Robotnik gets the better of Loaf, but Raven falls, is able to clean up Minaj, and soldier v scout. Pretty difficult one to win if you are the soldier.
Yeah.
So Raven has a kind of temporarily won the mid for his team.
Yep, and he can just get as much cap time as he'd like. Obviously not going to be getting the cap, as Aimer is here now, spamming at the point, but spawners are on the way. And yeah, with Aimer dying there, that's probably lights, unless you can find Raven. Okay, they do find Raven, but the space is still well in the favor of Moneyballs. So this second sort of mid-fight is it was going quite well for them. I would have actually taken some damage. Dingo went down. Let's get traded out with Minaj. Dingo 50 HP here. But the picks are going in the favor of GlobalClan Xiao. So much cap.
Oh my god.
Just like that. Bomb mode running in. Dingo doesn't have Uber either. Goes down.
Oh my
No.
god. Is he gonna get another? Oh, Bomo, absolutely insane with the pistol right now. Just trying to get Robotnik. That was absolutely insanity because, like you said, that was looking a lot better for GlobalClan Xiao in that moment. They were able to get Dingo down and they had a lot of control of the point. And I think Bomo, the initial reason for him going down and trying to take that fight was to get the mid capped because they had so much cap time on the mid. And if they're able to get it, sure, you know, assuming, you know, someone cleans up Bomo, which is what you would expect to happen. Okay, GlobalClan Xiao's mumble broke, which is the reason why we have the pause. But to finish my statement, I think Bomo just wanted to get the cap time to get the mid and to maybe give his team the faster respawners, and then he just happened into an amazing 3K that completely turned the tides in that fight.
Yeah, I don't think that he was expecting to be finding kills there. The mid was just so close to being capped. He's thinking, hey, like if they can step off for even like a brief moment, or if I can find one kill and then cap a little bit before trading out, then we get forward spawns, and like that's very good for us. But sometimes you get off, you bite off more than, well, you bite off less than you can chew, I guess, in this case. As Uber does get popped 3-4, no picks found quite yet. And actually, Minaj finding a headshot onto Bomo there. Slug is playing by the spawn, gets an arrow, a lot of cap time, and it's actually just enough to cap. I know there was some pause shenanigans happening, so my HUD's a little bit broken, but I think, was Aimer alive or not? I don't know.
There was
very little like point response, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, there was at least one soldier alive because they bombed. It was just a little bit too late. I'm not sure if it was Aimer or not, but
look at Minaj here.
Yeah, as it's going to be Loaf this time going into the enemy team's IT. Robotnik does as well on the other side of things.
A little treat here and choke for him. Yep.
Oh, Loaf!
The sniper and the medic. Yeah, Minaj played sniper to mid there, and I guess Loaf was not spotted behind IT or something. Surely he was. Maybe that was the mumble breaking. Oh, there was the pause. Yeah, so perhaps Loaf's flank was just uncalled there. That's unlucky. Anyway, Dingo trying to fight choke here. Will surf the damage out. And Minaj spawning up sniper yet again now. As, Moneyballs is going to be taking a lot of space here. Losing a player to the sniper, but yeah, overall still winning mid.
Yep, still winning mid, and they've got pretty big Uber advantage as well. Hubba not dying on that initial mid fight, so they can try and go forward if they want to. They don't have
I think they
FOMO.
want to nuke this.
Yeah, they do. They are going to be sending in Dingo. Sky High tries to land over towards rollout. Isn't going to find anyone. Robotnik is committed, kind of lurking towards IT. No one has spotted him. Seems like they immediately want to try and refight this Moose. Already pressuring through upper IT. Spotted Slugmundo is going to have to jump back. Robotnik in a position to maybe try and go for a kill on the medic, but not going for anything just quite yet. And GCX trying to push out. They haven't gotten through. Minaj on sniper by one,
he's
but
getting behind mid. This is really nice. At the very least, he's gonna get a free flank here. And wait, he gets spotted, I think. Oh, but still gets onto Hubba, who does just live. Wow. And Uber got popped as well, so the coordination there not really working out for GlobalClan Xiao, because I mean, with a soldier behind and Uber advantage, you can usually set up a really potent pinch play. This time around, they not only don't get any kills, but lose aimer in the process. So now the refight with add into last for Moneyballs.
Yep, and Minaj immediately back up on sniper, trying to hit a headshot, but the Uber is already in. Dingo making a lot of space. They haven't found any kills just quite yet, and that could be the saving grace for GCX. Dingo still a ways away, so it's just going to be a team fight, drive fight, as Loaf, oh my god, there's so much damage onto Tiny, so much cap time on the point as well. They just need to stand out once more. Bomo goes down trying to touch it. Raven, no, but the medic, it's Hubba who stands on it, captures it up. And that's going to be the second round for Moneyballs.
That was a little close for comfort for Moneyballs, because they just had no splash damage on point. I think any amount of splash damage would have sealed that round up pretty quickly. So Raven actually switched Spy early to off-class check for the mid, so verifying no sniper, which is good information to have for sure against a team that just played sniper into last mid.
Yep, as seems like both soldiers not opting to go for the IT wraparound shenanigans, but Slug is still in behind. Tiny going to be taken down by some early sticky traps from Dingo, who does fall. Nice bomb from Fancy Sun to get that one, but Dingo just kind of stuck over towards IT. Now it's the only Moose, last one left alive in a 1v4 scenario, and not going to be able to win that one. A third mid win for Moneyballs.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of the point where if we were going to see a comeback, and you know, it's always possible, but I've played and watched many games of TF2, and I think if we were to see a comeback, then there would have been a kind of indication of that. Oh, Minaj, though, with a nice peek, it gets spotted. Okay, won't be dropping a med here, but we would have had, you know, a little glimmer of that earlier on. Because at this point, it's 2 rounds and maybe ticking up for Moneyballs. And it's very easy as GlobalClan Xiao, like, even if you're not someone who tilts, to just kind of believe you've already lost and then play accordingly, right?
Yeah, it can be a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, but Minaj gets a nice body shot onto Raven, and they actually haven't managed to do too much with this Uber. They don't have a lot of cap time. I say that Bomo immediately stands on it. Nice stickies from Tiny, collapses it, and is able to clean up, but the soldiers are both so weak. Slug still up in heaven. Might try and make a play for the point. Is now in the 1v1 with Fancy Sun, is going to lose that, and that is going to be a successful last defense for GlobalClan Xiao.
Very close. I think all the players that were alive on red were one rocketable or just chip shotable, one stickyable. So yeah, that came down to very thin margins, and thin enough that GCX not even willing to push out here. And with Hubba living, it's actually still add. Okay, it's going to be about 50 add. I think that Moneyballs are expecting this to be less add than it is, because they are expecting Dinko to be building, which he is not. So this is like 60 add, and Minaj goes down, going for that same peak as last time, and this time Fancy Sun goes down with the ship trying to protect Minaj. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and call this as a round before the Uber even ends.
Yeah, that is very fair. Tiny goes down, Robotnik as well, Moose and Dinka, the last one's alive, and they're not going to be able to do anything, and that is 3-0 for Moneyballs. And I do agree, they must have thought that it was less Uber advantage, because there was just a couple seconds there where Dinko just wasn't healing anyone. It was kind of alone on upper right above the right spawn. So not super great for GCX, but really great if you are Moneyballs, looking like they're carrying over that dominance from Gully Wash here onto Process. as a Robotnik gonna go into IT, just gonna peek it a little bit, get some spam damage onto Bomo, maybe try to draw eyes. Fancy Sun meets up with them as they are gonna bomb. Seems like it maybe wanted to go onto Hubada. They are gonna collapse. They do find one onto Slug, but they lose two in the process. Both their soldiers being going down.
Loaf, do they? Loaf may have just been spotted behind, but no, they do not. So he can totally get value here if all goes according to plan. Okay, getting fought by Moose now, so he is going to be contained. But on the front lines, it's a full choke bust from Moneyballs. Loaf is able to regroup with the team, find a kill on a Minaj. Now Moose may be out of position. Uber gets popped, finds a kill onto Loaf. But now Hubada can milk, and milk he does. Ends up using anyway, but the Uber finds Moose, it finds Robotnik, and finds the most important kill of all on Dinko. Fancy Sun a little cherry on top as well. Basically a full wipe for what was just an Uber exchange. It kind of just seems like GCX again just kind of frazzled. The exchange they took made sense. They got a kill, but then wires are just getting crossed and, you know, you're down 3-0 map point in playoffs.
Yep, and it's not a great position to be in for GlobalClan Xiao, but Moneyballs looking really, really good at the moment. Already taking down the sentry gun. They don't have Uber just quite yet, so that's really the main reason why they're not already going in, even though they have the player advantage with that Minaj def. They're just going to be healing up and kind of making sure that they've got all the intel possible. They know exactly where GCX is playing as a...
Raven also just picked up Minaj's scattergun, I think, so... he's going to be using that for this last push. Minaj is sniping in the spawn. Uber gets popped through one, and it finds Dinko yet again. Man, they find Fancy Sun as well. Bomo does go down. Tiny walking at Hubada. And Dingo's very, very weak. Might go down. This might be a hold. It's too early to call because scouts can always do scout things. Raven, so weak. Bomb in from Loaf. Plus Raven is probably going to be enough here. Yeah, Tiny going down. And it's... I'm starting to think that Tilt is getting to GCX because I'm just seeing like sloppy mistakes that just shouldn't and like don't need to happen. And not even like desperation play kind of stuff that you get punished for, but just like, why are they caught to a one Uber, for example?
Yep, it's all seems to be crumbling for GCX as it's going to be Loaf, but Minaj is actually ready for it this time and is going to be able to clear IT, so they do have a player advantage. Slug, however, doing so much damage onto Moose, not going to be able to find the kill, and this is going to be a pretty good position if you are GCX. They're chasing in through sewer onto second,
great,
and they're going all the way. They might be able to catch out Hubada. Oh my, Tiny
nice bomb.
With a huge bomb, and that should be the very first mid one, I believe, for GCX on process.
That's breathing some life into this game for sure. Minaj running around hunting, but not gonna take that fight with Loaf in lobby, which makes sense. And Hubada still not spawned. So we do have a gun being constructed. No, we don't. Raven switches off, so no gun on last. Slug finds a trade with Robotnik. So overall, I'd say kind of neutral, if not favoring. Maybe, oh wow, they're like peeking into two. This is remarkable. Okay, yeah. Back to last, guys. Oh, there's a Kritzkrieg disad play here from Hub.
Yep, which was a kind of popularized, at least in North America, by the Europeans. As the Uber comes in, they take down the sentry gun. Oh, I think that was a headshot that kind of knocked one of the scouts back as Moose is going to go down, and so does Tiny. So this Uber push really stopped before it could get started. Robotnik does find one onto Dingo, but goes down as well. The kill on the Dingo might make everyone on Moneyballs a little bit slower, but they're already getting on to second.
They
should
have
definitely...
crits as well on Boba. He's playing like he wants to use it, yep. Oh man, Flash, Soldier, that pistol crits, so inconsistent.
Dingo
actually ends up dying to the very target he was trying to secure. And now it's kind of a little scarier for Moneyballs because, like, yeah, things have evened out on two, but not really, like, evened in the truest sense of the word because you've revealed that you're on crits. And now GCX know that, and they can play around that.
Ooh. We do have Bomo up on Sniper, and I don't know if you know, but he is a very deadly sniper. You know, a lot of the kind of land frag videos is just this man on this class, hitting insane headshots on a product, and we have to see if he can do it again. Everyone from GlobalClan Xiao going to be coming in through lower. They are going to use, they maybe see the sniper and don't want to risk it. They do find one onto low, so they are at least going to get one. They do lose one in Fancy Sun as well, but they're also close. Dingo going to be taken down. They tried to use the crit streak and didn't work out. The Uber just a little bit better at preventing in that exchange, but they're still managing to make it work. It's now a 2v2. The only fragging class is Minaj, but gets the 2, and I think this could be the round. It's only going to be Loaf on Pyro, working his way forward. Minaj has got to get the Pyro, and he does. Okay.
Yeah, round on the board. And I think this is kind of a textbook example of why I just feel like the crits on last is not good. Because, yes, even when you hold on last, then you're on crits. And then it's like, now what? Well, this sucks. But it's nonetheless, I mean, I don't want to take away, obviously, well-played round there from GCX, getting on the board and proving all the 5-0 predictors wrong as Robotnik, fast rollout, just trades out with Dingo. Great start to this next mid.
A really great start, but that's not stopping Moneyballs from staying in and low. Oh my god, nice bomb onto Dinko, who is gonna die over towards Choke. Raven goes in super deep to commit for that one. On the other side of things, however, Hubada and Bomo are so far out of mid. Slug is in behind. Moose is going all the way back to try and chase him, but Slug has managed to evade detection, is hiding over in Choke, is anticipating the spawns from GCX, has finally been spotted, and is now in a 2v1 on second, and is gonna go down.
Yeah, when the front lines, Fancy Sun goes down, making a similar play, and because Slug brought people back, Choke's not really being held. Gives Moneyballs a foothold here, which is fantastic, because keep in mind they have either. Dinko does not, so being able to get through the Choke cleanly makes your odds of having to use that much less likely. As I say that, however, Minaj is able to find enough damage on Hubada to force him. But still, that Uber got multiple kills. I think they're happy with things overall, as they are fighting into 2 here. A lot of damage on 1 from Loaf. Pick onto Tiny, and they deny 3 as well. So despite Dinko having, 60 ad here, I don't know how much GCX are going to want to be pushing out here. They're definitely playing like they do.
Yeah, they are playing like it. They don't have any off classes yet. Now they do have Uber. Seems like it's gonna be in through upper lobby as they're managing to work their way. They get a nice early pick on the Slug. Nice bomb from Loaf, though, is gonna get the force out from Dinko, going down very, very low there. So very critical use. So they're gonna be able to get 2 soldiers. Also gonna be able to get second. Fancy Sun already bombing in. Robotnik making his way in. Is gonna be able to get onto Hubada, but the question is, can everyone else survive the onslaught coming in? Bomo on second, the only one here now, as Raven and Slug are going to be jumping in. They should be able to get out, but they might lose second in the meantime.
Yeah, definitely losing second. And, well, it's good damage on Slug on 1. You can maybe poke and prod because Hubada is not here quite yet. Dinko not having Uber, obviously a little uncomfortable, but still relatively simple drive push. Slug did slip behind. I believe spotted, so they know about it, but still a threat nonetheless. Loaf bombing in finds Moose. A lot of pressure being applied. Dinko not having Uber quite yet, just now gets it, but is fully out by this point. So we're going to see the refight with this ad. We are re-peaking 1. Decent spam coming in.
Oh, they're going for last.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the whole combo is... Oh, my God. Is that the... Wow. Hubada gets out as well. Like,
that's crazy.
I saw Hub on last. I don't know how he got out there. And I don't know how things are going to even out here on last. Just so much pressure being applied. And that cap time might even come into play for a potential sack play. So we also... Oh my god, Minaj. I was about to bring up Minaj being on spine.
Oh my god!
Just gets blinded.
That's an insane air shot, I believe, from Robotnik onto one of the soldiers there, as they are managing to clean up these Moneyballs players. Dingo is the last one up alive by 5 and is going to be taken down, as now is only Bomo, the respawner, up on Sniper, and he's just going to back up from sewer, reposition over towards Choke, as once again, Hubada managing to get out of that alive.
Did they know he was on Sniper? The timing's a little bad now, but he had a really nice timing earlier while he was posted up your sewer. Obviously, it makes more sense to reconvene with your medic, who's completely alone, but still, missed opportunity, unfortunately, as both soldiers are actually going to be sent here for Moneyballs. They find Tiny, but the headshot is going to make things even, as the flank is completely shoved. What a shot from Bomo, finding a kill on the flanking scout, and now Robotnik should just get dealt with. That's 4 kills, kind of conjured out of nowhere, and yeah, that means second going to get recaptured.
Bomo is going for the deep peek over towards rollout, and you can already see that they're playing kind of close in lobby. Everyone in GlobalClan Xiao maybe anticipating that Bomo would go for the peek over there. Oh, but Fancy Sun gonna go down, and Dingo is disconnected, having to use the Uber on no one once again. And they are gonna try and find some players over in lower lobby. They do find one on the Bomo, but they're still gonna be, actually, they do manage to get the Uber out from Hubada. I didn't see how or where, so it's not gonna be all too bad for GlobalClan Xiao. And I think as long as they don't lose anyone else here, they should be able to reset. So it could have been a lot worse for them.
Things looking even yet again. Bomo is respawn and sniper, it would appear. Has been hitting some shots, so it makes sense. Menage peeking 1. It's a body shot, body shot on Dingo. So they know about the sniper on last. We'll see. I mean, I expect the SVS is going to be really what decides what things are going to happen next. It's actually Slug going down. Bomo still taking the peek. Finds the sniper. Goes down to the soldier who gets out, so that should be things called off for now.
It should be. Some nice damage onto Dingo is going to force him to back up, and Tiny is actually kind of somewhat committed out, is going to be penned back in by all the damage, but Robotnik going for a bomb is going to be taken down. Loaf also going for a bomb over on last, and is going to be able to get out as everyone rotates towards second to help him with the escape. Dingo again taking a lot of damage, going to have to wait for the arrow as they are getting very kind of explorative with their sacks, but nothing game-changing happening just quite yet.
We've seen a ton of damage there from Tiny in lobby. Bomo thinking about just running in, does not. As Dingo gonna get headshot in 1. That is a very important demo pick, so no hopes to pressure or sack or whatnot. We do have the blue combo really posted up by 1, thinking about exchanging into what they're expecting to be a sniper peek there. Bomo actually just sends it in though and goes down, and Menage is in the complete other side of the map towards lobby.
Oh, nice pick onto Raven from Moose, and it seems like they're kind of committed now, Moneyballs, into trying to go through 1, and they get wrapped around by Robotnik. They have to use the Uber. It's going to be a solo onto Slug 2008 style, honestly just kind of waddling around, and somehow Hubada gets out again as Slug is committed in on last, buying so much time as everyone is struggling to kill him. They finally do, but already Moneyballs in position to try and flood in the post. Robotnik wrapping around, gets a lot of damage on the Dingo, managing to stay alive. Dingo does catches an arrow, but Loaf is going to go down to the body shot. Tiny as well, and it seems like GlobalClan Xiao getting the better of this kind of a kerfuffle and this scuffle that's been going on. They're managing to get out on the second. This should be a capture, a second cap for them, barring anything crazy. Yeah,
definitely. And they will not deny anyone. Bomo is on scout, not sniping this time around. Oh, look at this IT play, and never mind, Hubbard is dead. Okay. Menage, I guess one step ahead of that was scoped up in IT, and it was a good play for Moneyballs to be going for a build check there, because it was like 15 ad, basically perfect margins to catch Dinko and kind of just win the game, but no, Sniper shut that down, shutting down Slugmundo as well, as GlobalClan Xiao can kind of just poke and prod, see how they want to push with this ad. Loaf not getting cleared though. Oh, unlucky timing.
Yeah, very unlucky timing with Fancy Sun just bombing that sewer shutter. So they're going to be able to get on cap. They might be able to deny Loaf, and maybe with that player advantage and Uber advantage, they can work their way in onto second. No, Loaf is not going to get denied, so he's going to be here right on second. Seems like he's going to be opting to hide in the forward spawn as well to maybe bait everyone on GCX into a false sense of security. Slug very deep over in IT. Robotnik spots it. They're going to be committing a few people to go and rush him down, and they're going to be able to clean that one up. They don't lose anyone in the meantime, so they are going to come into second with a player advantage. Minaj still up on Sniper as finally Loaf does backspawn, so everyone on Moneyballs now back on their last. All eyes on Minaj to really be the one to create an opening.
Yep. And I mean, GCX honestly demonstrating kind of that pace shifting of just sort of slow down, play our own game. Don't let, you know, Bomo just run around and collect a bunch of kills in some crazy fight. As I say that, it's a crazy exchange in lobby being taken, which, to be clear, is a play you can kind of anticipate. Being a team with a sniper, teams love to exchange into teams with snipers. Somehow Raven went down on Engineer. I don't know where that happened, but it's a full wipe here for the red team. So, yeah, very clean stuff there. Kind of textbook. Just use Uber into the team that's effectively down a combat player.
Yeah, a large part of that was Loaf, who was able to get in behind, won a crucial one versus Moose, and then was able to just kind of deny Dinko any type of real exit there. As they are on the back foot, GCX, they're kind of peeking mid a little bit. Moose, thinking about it, is going to back up everyone on Moneyballs here as Minaj once again up on Sniper. It's been working out pretty well. Got playing pretty close, actually, kind of looking towards IT, maybe anticipating that's where they're going to take it, but seems like it's just going to be through choke as Raven is over in IT trying to clear things as they're now going to make their way in onto second. The soldiers bombing, clearing everything with the help of Dingo. And they've been able to protect this Uber advantage.
One Uber. This is really nice. Triple bomb, no use into the one Uber. Great stuff. And Tiny might just be caught in heaven. Yep, that means no traps on point. Loaf does get sniped, but no traps on point means someone gets to play the point, right, guys? They're just healing up here, reloading their shots. Raven actually ends up going down as the commit happens on last. Headshot on the Dingo is probably just going to be...
Oh!
Yeah, Minaj. A lot of value there on Sniper to hold off the push, but I really liked the idea there because earlier, I mean, GCX have been really good about baiting the...
Oh my god!
They've been good about baiting the pop-throughs that you know, teams are kind of forced into when they have the Sniper.
Yeah, as Moose is getting popped up into the air, trying to take down these soldiers, Slug and Loaf, managing to get in behind. Minaj does find Dingo with the body shot, finds actually Slug as well with another body shot, so one of the two players taken down, but the other one, Loaf, gets onto Dingo, and Raven finds a headshot onto Minaj, so it's going to be them trying to get onto Hubba. A nice surf to stay alive. The pistol, Moose trying to chase, but Hubba has just barely managed to buy enough time for him to stay out and keep alive. Moose, one in a 2v1, finds one onto Raven, but the respawners are here for Moneyballs, and Moose is gonna have to get out, remove himself from the equation. Someone who's still in it is Robotnik, hiding in IT, and could come around for a flank play.
Yeah, this could be valuable. Although, I mean, we'll have to see, I guess, because Moose goes down, and mid was actually already capped. Okay, so that means that Robotnik might be kind of stuck behind if things are going quickly here. I don't think he got spotted there. He's in choke now, not super healthy, basically just needs to make a bomb onto Hubba. Does not land the rockets he needs to, so decides, okay, I need to trade with Bomo to get something. Doesn't even get that. And there's no soldiers on last here with this 40 ad.
Yep, no soldiers that are going to be able to use in the Uber. Take down the sentry gun. Going to be bombing the demo. No stickies on point immediately. Bomo starts to play it. Is going to be taking down Nice Spoon from Loaf onto Minaj, and they just got so much cap time, and that is going to be the game and the series. 5-1 in the favor of Moneyballs and 2-0 in their favor for the series.
Yep. Probably, I mean, a result may be expected. I thought it was going to be the 5-0, so especially towards the end there. I mean, I was counting out GCX for sure, but they got a little bit of footing there. I mean, especially around, you know, controlling that pace and just trying to make Moneyballs uncomfortable. Not play into them, but force them to play in a way that's not what they're used to, I suppose. But alas, still a 5-1 game. Still, you know, the second seed team playing against the third seed team in a very stratified season of Invite.
Yep, still is that. And, I guess for GlobalClan Xiao, it's good that they were able to at least get around, but Moneyballs looking so dominant all throughout. And, those last couple of rounds, like you said, GlobalClan Xiao looking a little bit better, or a lot better, actually, than how they kind of started Gully Wash and how they kind of continued on into process. But by that point, when it's for something, even if you do get momentum, you have to play essentially perfectly. And that's a big ask up against a team like Moneyballs. So GlobalClan Xiao have been defeated in this first round of playoffs, but they are going to be going on to face off against Fjord Gaming in what is going to be the lower bracket, or the semi lower bracket final, something like that. Lower bracket semifinal. That's the words I'm looking for. And the loser of that is going to be knocked out in fourth. And then Moneyballs, they're going to be going on to play Froyotech in the upper bracket final. Winner of that goes on to Grands. And I think based off of this performance, maybe some people are going to be hoping if Moneyballs are going to be able to take it to Froyotech. But like you said, kind of the best team that
I'm
we
one of those
have.
people hoping.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping as well. I'd love to see a close game, but it really seems like this is potentially the best Froyotech we've seen in quite a while. But I mean, just looking at the logs once again, Loaf having a really great game. I wasn't able to say much of it during the game, but a lot of those plays are kind of things from Moneyballs. Was Loaf having a lot of impact, either getting in behind himself through IT and just being unspotted, or if he was spotted, still able to find some type of trade or kind of open up space for his team. And I think a large part of that, of course, you have Bomo 28 and 17. You kind of expect that, but I think Loaf having a really great couple of games tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe we're gonna wrap things up for tonight. It's gonna be Moneyballs as your winners in 2-0, 5-0, and then 5-1 respectively. And then I'm not sure when the next match is going to be. I think teams have to schedule because they just finished this match, so only now can they start to really think about the next one. But whenever that happens, we'll have it here on RGL, probably Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I guess they're going into weekends as well, so it might be Saturday, Sunday for the remainder of playoffs. But whatever it is, we will have it here live for you. Any final words or shoutouts, Rumpus?
Shoutouts to my team Moneyballs for winning with me on the roster.
That's true. High impact player, Rumpus. They could not have done it without you. Shoutouts to you for casting with me this season. It's been a lot of fun. Shoutouts to Dolphin on production. Shoutouts to the teams who are playing, the teams that have made it through into playoffs and just the season in general. And shout out to all you guys for watching. Without you, there'd be no reason to cast. So anyways, we'll be back next time. And until then, have a good night.